Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. In the top left corner, from the Netherlands, one of the most recognizable and accomplished players in the SC2 scene, on the verge of elimination, it is Liquid Ret.
And down in the bottom right side, my favorite starter Pokemon, but he's still gonna have to bring his A game versus a player like Ret, able to win with a very well executed standard build in game number 2 and in game number 3. Just using all sorts of fun units, and anyways, it is going to be ST.Squirtle.
It's such a huge difference that we've seen in this series versus the last one between Baby Knight and Vortex. I mean, just the possible styles that we're seeing these races execute is so sick. Huge thanks to Twitch and Razer for supporting the tournament so that we can get such sick matchups from people who are just from such different zones of StarCraft 2 life. I mean, Squirtle living out in Korea on the pro team, Ret on a pro team but living independently, players like Vortex and Baby Knight trying to get to that spot as well. I mean, it's just really, really sick.
And I want to know, can Ret play under this kind of pressure? One game away from being eliminated from his 4th TSL. This would be a big round for him, getting closer and closer to the finals. If he's able to get to that round of 16, then you are just a couple of strong matchups away from making it to the finals. Both of these players would love to have a major title under their belts. They do already have some major titles to get them started. But again, both players making around $45,000 so far in StarCraft, and TSL4 is no joke. First place is a lot of money. And both these players, of course, they're going to want it. But who's going to be the ultimate StarCraft player?
Well, there will be one crowned ultimate StarCraft player from the TSL4. Looks like Squirtle is going to be building. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Ret going for Hatch first on this map. Squirtle responding with Nexus first. As long as Squirtle gets that gateway up by around 310, I would still anticipate that he would be trying to do something. God, that's actually a really early gateway. Holy crap, yeah, 306 it went down. 330 or even 345 is the sort of timing that's standard nowadays. But Squirtle will be immediately heading up to that third to try to block that sucker off before the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, he did definitely, I mean, as you're saying, get that gateway early. You can see this technically supply blocks him, but the timing of it should be okay. That right when this probe is finishing, that pylon's going to be finishing up as well. Just a couple of second buffer there, and he's going to be A-okay, completely walled in, nice and tight, as Protoss feels comfortable. And you may be wondering, well, why is he walling himself in nice and tight on this map? You got to remember, it is one of the maps where you can bust down the rocks right here. So if you can establish a wall on the right side a lot earlier than on the left side, you can have the new entrance. It also makes defending your third much easier. The pathing, the Zerg player actually has to click on your buildings or click right next to them, because if he tells you them just to attack your base, they're going to run through the third and get chewed up. So that is a very deliberate move here by Squirtle. And I gotta say, like, everything Squirtle has done, it seems very deliberate. It's not just standard, it's extremely deliberate.
Yeah, it's the normal stuff that you would always see players do, but if you zoom in, you see that he's getting that 15 seconds earlier and this 30 seconds earlier, and then as a result, he's getting up an extremely fast Void Ray just out of nowhere. And in fact, I actually think that that's probably the opening we're going to be seeing out of him in this game, is a unitless, fast Void Ray play, as now that, with that Cybernetics core wrapping up, and we see no Warp Gate research started. Wow, there's the Sentry Gateway. Well, okay, if I had to readjust my prediction, I would say that we're probably going to be seeing a Robo facility coming out quite soon.
And the Sentry not going to be able to kill off that Overlord by any means, but if you can get it this early, it is so useful. We do have, of course, the 3 bases for Ret, as we would expect. That the third base is going to be a little bit delayed over there, but that is A-okay, as he is now droning on the back of this. And you mentioned unitless. Well, right now it's just going to be that singular Sentry, which I guess is kind of a unit in a straight-up battle, I guess. It doesn't do that much damage. Oh, he actually kind of forced it over there. I don't think he's going to kill this Overlord, though.
The Trick Tickle.
Yeah, Sentries actually don't do damage. That Overlord is going to go ahead and giggle his way on out of there. But it did take a little bit of damage, so it might get focused down around the third base timing. And Ret, within the next 2 minutes, I would assume is going to scout the main base just to see what the tech actually is off of this 2 base.
I'm a little confused by what we're going to see from Squirtle, because ordinarily if you're going for a timing push, you would have built the structure for the timing push, like a Twilight or a Robo by now, and then you would have been getting your 2 gases up at 6:15 to 6:30. Instead, we see Squirtle getting his gases started at, what, like 5:38, just super early. It might just be a straight-up sentry-focused expand. Layer now coming up from Rhett. Look at how early that layer is, Mike, at 7 minutes. I actually think Rhett is going to have exactly what he needs to overpower a fast third base from Squirtle.
We do have a Twilight Council here on the way for Squirtle right now, throwing it down in concession with 3 gateways, excuse me, as he does have Chrono Boost being dumped into these Nexus right here. And I just want to know, when is Squirtle planning to move out right now with the Twilight Council? It does open up a couple of options, but it's not going to be an extremely powerful army. It'll either be a more mobile army or slowly work his way towards those Archons, which are very useful, but you got to remember that if you allow the game to go too late, then all of a sudden you need to come up with an answer for the Broodlords. We've already seen Rhett get an early lair, which means that an early hive is definitely a possibility here. And this base over here is saturated. 6 more drones on the way, currently at 54, not able to pull way ahead in the drone count quite yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a 4th base either, but deciding to drop that 4th hatchery right in the natural, which is pretty common.
But it's common, but so early? That macro hatch is going to be done by freaking 8:30. I mean, gosh, a lot of people start theirs then, so that way they can do the Stefano-style push later on. I mean, this is an incredibly aggressive opening by Rhett, and I actually think that there's going to be almost nothing that Squirtle can do to hold this off. I mean, the times are just way too early for Rhett. It is going to be an extremely difficult defense for Squirtle.
Well, especially since he just busted down the rocks there. That's just one more avenue of attack for Rhett. So even with the sentries, I mean, you can't wall that off, that 3rd base. It's just not going to happen no matter how many sentries you have. And the army's starting to gear up. Rhett says, I'm not making 800 drones this game. I'm going to make a lot of roaches, as Vortex has kind of sat in for this game. Of course, he hasn't, but it is a very similar style where just get lots of units and keep making them. I would be surprised to see too many drones on the back of this, just because the upgrades are there, the tech is there, and the timing is there with that early macro hatch, and he's just going to start rolling with those inject larvas. He needs to make sure to nail them every single time. So far he has, keeping the energy so low on these queens, and is going to be able to, I think, do a quite scary timing here.
God, Rhett might actually get maxed before 11 minutes. He is just ripping up the supply chain. He's already at 143 of 192, Squirtle at 92 of 108, trying to add on 2 more gateways. He's only going to have 4 gateways when this push commences, and there's a nice sweep by Rhett. He's coming in from all angles, and oh, Squirtle! Squirtle's about to make an incredible misstep. He's moving up to the middle, and look, trying to pick off an Overseer, but Rhett is about to crunch in from all 3 sides. Oh my goodness, what a great push!
Crazy sandwich time here. He's got to be able to focus down one of these Immortals. A 3-pronged attack from Rhett. He says, I know what's up, the force field. You guys are running out of energy, man. Only 4 sentries are left. And here comes the death grip right now. So many units surround them, prevents them from getting inside the main base. Absolutely crushed. We may be seeing a 5th game for the 2nd time today, as Rhett able to, with a miracle recovery. Good game.